subtext, which is world peace. Could games actually lead to world peace? So smile about it, but think about it in the back of your mind as I go into the presentation, because I believe that video games on a global scale actually is a really important catalyst for social change. So think about it. So the context here is who plays games, where do they play, how do they play, and how are games changing our culture? So if you do a double take, yes, that's me. That's kind of the unflattering version of the gamer that most people think of when they think of people who play video games. Or if you're in the media and you like to categorize and marginalize people and think of them as an 18 to 34-year-old male demographic who you can advertise to, that's the cooler looking version of that gamer. But in fact, gamers are not a category. Games are played by everyone in our culture today. There are couples who play games together. People are now playing games with their children. People of all ages are playing games as platforms are enabling more people to get involved with games. And most importantly, for the future, games are now something that people of all ages grow up with. Children today, young people today, are growing up with games, and they don't have a dichotomy of gamers versus non-gamers. You would be very hard-pressed to find someone in middle school or elementary school today who is not playing games on a regular basis. So just to give you a quick understanding of how we've come to some of our data, at GamerDNA what we've done is we've created a system for aggregating the gameplay across lots of different game consoles and platforms and putting all that information into a database where we can draw conclusions about what people like to do, who's playing games, where they're playing, and so forth. So one of the things we wanted to answer was, what do women play? Because it's also been assumed that women play different games. Now in the market of people, I didn't go to the Slideology school either, so you can't read that, but what's on there is that the top 5 games played by women on the Xbox, although the order is different, for men it's actually the same 5 games. So for men, Gears of War is the top game that people on the internet who own an Xbox play. But for women, Gears of War is also one of the top 5. So the women demographic is actually a lot more close to the men than you might expect. The other thing that's happening is games are a lot more social. So what I've got here is a graph of a few games that have been recently released on something called Xbox Live Arcade. One of the things that we found is that the game that's growing fastest day to day is a game which had no marketing whatsoever. It's a game that has only been discovered through communication on the internet and through blogs. And it's a game called Braid. Okay, Braid is already surpassing some of the product sales of other games with significant marketing behind it. On GamerDNA, we discovered that in this influential gamer audience of people who are on the web talking about games and own an Xbox, an amazing 29% of people got GTA 4 day one it released. But it fell off pretty rapidly. And the conclusion we came to is that there's an absence of social play versus something in Call of Duty 4, which is about teaming and competing and playing against people all around the world. GTA 4, a solitary experience versus a social experience. The other thing that's happening with games is that old media is converging with it. So you have things like Rock Band. And just as you have games like Guitar Hero 3, don't know if anyone's ever played it, but it's not played nearly as socially as Rock Band. Rock Band is something where groups get together and they play together. What you see there is Guitar Hero 3 falling off very consistently since its release. Compare that to Rock Band, which is a game where people are playing it together. They're enjoying it as a group. So what we've really concluded from this is that other than just the release of content and songs, it's really the social play of Rock Band that's making it grow over time. So who here has either played World of Warcraft or knows someone who plays World of Warcraft? Probably close to 100% coverage. So, I mean, there's a game on the internet that people around the world are playing today. Unsurprisingly, the other games played by WoW players tend to also be very social game products. This is the part that kind of brings me to the original point of this. People are playing games all over the world today. So when I see people playing in Indonesia, when I see a games cafe in Johannesburg or a Bang in Korea where people are playing games, you know, the idea that games can unite cultures isn't new. The Olympics had this idea, but the Olympics is nationalist. It's about an elitist few getting together to compete for something that the average person can't. So when I see a map like that, of people around the world. This is a profile page of someone's friends that are in games that they play with in places across North America, all the way through the Mideast and then into Southeast Asia. The idea that online gamers today are forming friendships that defy geography makes me think maybe that would be the future Olympics, and that would be a lot more exciting to me, that people could play together across cultures, across politics, religions, and be able to play together around the world. And this is something that's already happening, and that's why I think that it's an opportunity to really create social change. So thank you.